I know it was a little bit of a slow start, but you guys rallied to get back in. I think it was about a 1-point game with maybe 5.5 minutes left or so. And what do you kind of recall from the little run? I think the Cleveland went on there to kind of make the difference. I think it was 7-0, 8-0 there.
Yeah, I think, overall, like you said, first quarter, they stepped up their physicality and intensity defensively, and I thought that it definitely bothered us. But once we gathered ourselves from that point forward, really good second and third quarter on both ends of the court. Thought fourth quarter, same type of focus on both ends, and a couple of those defensive rebounds in some key moments. Also, a couple fouls. Can we keep our hands out of the cookie jar on some of those Harden moves and Mitchell moves? But credit them too; they hit a couple shots. So just between fouling and some of the defensive rebounds, I think we can clean those up. But I love that we gave ourselves a chance to go out and win this game if we're just a little bit sharper, especially in that first quarter.
Just a quick follow-up on Khan. I think he had 3 points in that first quarter and finished with 33. It seemed like you guys made a conscious effort to kind of get him some more shots and some more looks. What's it like as a coach when you just see him kind of get in that mode of, okay, he's really feeling it with the shot and the spacing right now?
Yeah, I never have to worry too much about him finding his offense or having to cater to him. That's one of the beauties of who he is as a player. He feeds and works off of everyone else so well. He looks for opportunities. He doesn't force too much. And then I think, as you just said, he finds a couple shots to go in or a couple of those offensive rebound kickouts, and it gets him going a little bit more. And then at that point, sometimes if you're in an ATO, you're trying to draw up a play to try to get him a look. But I just love that he sticks with it, and he's just consistently trying to make the right play for not only himself, but just for our team to put us in the best position to be successful.
It's back-to-back losses for you guys. 3 out of the last 4 games you guys have lost. How do you get it going back in the right direction? I know you're shorthanded a little bit. You're missing a couple guys, but how do you get it going back in the right direction the way you want it?
Yeah, I would say we're trending in the right direction. I think that we are making a ton of great gains, and so I know the results weren't there, but there's some moments where I'm watching Tijon come in the game and impact it in a lot of different ways. PC hasn't played in a while, and he comes in and gives us a good contribution. We got two-way guys out there playing that have really impacted the game, and I thought Brandon and Khan were better tonight than the game before, and so not going to be we're never happy with the result, obviously, but I think there's a ton of positives to take from this, and we got to keep moving forward to our road trip coming up.
You mentioned Brandon. What did you see from him tonight in terms of getting his shot and getting into rhythm? It hadn't happened in the previous couple of games there.
Yeah, no, he started off really well. I think that between transition and some of the execution on our half-court sets, he was able to find some buckets early. Getting into foul trouble probably took him out of it a little bit, and then there was a lineup out there where, we try to play through him a lot, and spacing on the floor might not have been great, or, how they were guarding some of the other guys on the floor. And so the floor probably felt a little bit crammed for him, and he turned it over a couple times. And so I have to go back and watch the film of how we can continue to help him when he is in lineups like that. But I thought that early on, really good, and then when he came back in for his last stint, he was able to find it again.
You've had to rely on some unorthodox lineups with being shorthanded. At the end of the third quarter, you have Josh, Antonio, PJ, Pat, Trey. You guys are down 3. You end the third quarter only down 1. Can you just talk about what you see from that group there, kind of holding their own to let the guys come back in the fourth quarter and make a run at it?
Yes, they're consistent competitors. They work their tails off every day. PC's been in big moments before. They've all had moments throughout their career, throughout this year, where they can play, they can hoop, and they've earned the respect and trust of their teammates and as well as the staff. And so I feel very comfortable putting those guys out there in that situation and understand that they can hold their own for sure. I just have to do a better job of trying to help put them in the best positions offensively to be successful.
You talked about Brandon kind of leading units at time. We saw Khan do that tonight. 5 turnovers last night, 0 tonight. You mentioned his scoring, but talk about him being able to kind of lead a unit as a rookie.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes him really special is how well he can score, but how unselfish he is, how well he sees the floor, reads coverages. And I think that after last night, he's also a super prideful person. And, coming off of a loss or not having your best game, the great competitors, the great players that I have been around in my career, the next game, they're going to respond no matter what. They had a bad game, the team lost. They are going to show up because of their habits, because of who they are, their DNA, and he's one of those guys. And so it's really fun and special to watch. And as a coach, you're not like, okay, you didn't have a good one tonight. Tomorrow, I know it's going to be really good, and that's what he showed today.
Josh Green feels like he always makes an impact every time he checks into a game on both ends here recently. What have you liked about what he's done recently, and even compared to what you saw from him in his first year in Charlotte last year?
The thing that I want him to continue to do, because his defensive presence, the winning plays that he makes, the chase down, back taps, and the block he had today in a pick and roll, we consistently get that, and we saw that a lot last year. The thing that I feel like I see him game after game now, especially the last few games, feeling more comfortable with the ball in his hands. If he's going to drive with that type of force and physicality like he had in the first half, and he gets an and-one, the drive he had in front of our bench where a guy comes to contest and he throws a right-hand pass to AR in the corner, like things like that, that's going to just take our offense to another level. A guy that can be another threat out there, which is great.
Scouting report on Harden has been to keep your hands out of the cookie jar for 15 years, and we still see it happen. What makes it so difficult for defenders to, keep their hands to themselves in those situations?
Yeah, you're out there competing, and somebody kind of shows you the ball, and it's an opportunity. You think that, like, I can go make a play right now, and that's where you got to have just that mental discipline to not go ahead. The saying is true, hands in the cookie jar. Like, we all want cookies. We all like them, and they taste good, and so that's why he shows it to you, and you're like, I can get it, and no.
I'm an Oreo guy myself.
Double stuffed?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. Listen, you guys got a game on Sunday against Washington, two young teams. How do you rebound specifically, and what have you watched about Washington this year? You guys both have a kind of a similar story.
Yeah, I think the way that we rebound is just like last night. Like, you try to learn from what you can from that game. It's always a great experience to see some of the things that we can get better at. And going into that Houston game, we talked a little bit about how can we finish quarters, how can we finish games better. And there was a couple moments in that last game where I thought we finished the quarter well. And so you take some of those positives, the physicality. I think our group is bringing it every night. From a physical competitive standpoint, and then now just trying to tighten up some of our situational basketball stuff. So even tonight we'll try to take from that, and then once you learn, you gotta move forward. And so I think that our group has done a great job of trying to learn and then reset and refocus on who that next opponent is. And so that's what we'll do going into Washington. And from watching them, they're pretty fun to watch, actually. Like you said, similar story. A lot of young players out there. I remember last time we played them here. I mean, the ball is moving, people are moving. They got some good three-point shooting, and so they're really going to test, I think, our discipline defensively, and then offensively. Can we continue to, like, that group that we had at the end of the second quarter? I think that they had the two second actions, the third actions. Can we keep playing with that type of pace and togetherness throughout the whole offensive possession?